Hello and welcome. We are here at the seventh edition of ETCFO Leadership Summit, and I have with me Mrinalini Srinivasan, the CFO of Castrol India. Thank you, Mrinalini, for joining us here. Your panel was on scaling up women CFOs in India Inc. I want to understand from you what is that one structural reform and one regulatory intervention that you would recommend which will increase the number of CFOs in India?
Shyam, thank you so much. It's been lovely talking today, and of course with you as well. I think when it comes to really encouraging women in senior leadership, especially as finance leaders, organizations need to make a lot of interventions. And we spoke about it earlier how psychological safety, inclusion, along with just encouraging diversity, is very important. And I think organizations like Castrol do a lot on that. And of course, some policy interventions to make sure that any infrastructure need, any specific needs, especially in times of critical milestones like maternity, marriage are needed. Those interventions can also be brought in. So I think organizations themselves play a very important role. The biggest role that organizations can do is offer mentorship and sponsorship to women in those critical milestones. But your question was a bit broader. Your question was what can India Inc., what can India do to really help any with some policy interventions at the government level? I must say, I think India in that spirit is has been leading the way when you look at our maternity policy. The country recently, about 10 years ago, switched to a 26-week policy, which is leading across when you even compare with many of the developed worlds, wherein it would be as low as 2 weeks of maternity leave. So compared to that, I think we're in a good place. But of course, there are so many ideas, and the one that really comes to my mind is when maternity happens, post that, motherhood happens, and that's when women are really at critical, milestones on their career as well, and childcare becomes an important priority for women. In that space of childcare, I think the government can do a little bit more. I know they have these, mandates for companies to have creche services, but when I look at that daycare, childcare as a service, that industry can really benefit from incentives, really encouraging them to grow because that impact on the GDP can be disproportionate because we will unlock those women and men to free themselves from childcare duties in a bit and go and be more productive at work. So that's one definitely intervention I want. And then I think at an individual level, also recognizing that these costs on childcare are a real cost. I think if we can just almost allocate them as allowances and also give them tax deductions to individuals on this, that can also really encourage individuals to spend money on that important lifestyle. Today it's not as important because we have a society helping parents, cope, a village to bring up that child. Grandparents are available. There are, even neighbors are available, sisters, cousins are available. But as nuclear families become more and more important, I think that's an important role that can be happen, that can be thought of. And hence, as always, thinking about the future, I think that's a big intervention government can make. But I must say, and I end, that the biggest intervention that can happen is comes from within. If we as women believe that we can do well at senior leadership positions, nothing can stop us. That's where I would leave today.
Thank you. That was great to hear, Mrinalini. As always, lovely hosting you.